So the first game today is called AETHUS. Ooh, air supply. Your base air supply will change based on selected difficulty. I love game modifiers like this. That's gonna be like a lot of... Your vitality stats, hunger and thirst, will drain at a rate based on selected difficulty. Your carry weight. I'm just gonna leave it at standard, because I have no idea how this works. Yeah. Astral Resource Corporation, the ARC. Mining claim 749. Beneath the mining colony of Invermark, on the planet AETHUS. Dev in chat. Hello, Dev. Beacon Dev. There you are.
Right, out we get. Back up here twice in one day. I must be crazy.
Voice acted. Love to see it. Ruggedized transport vehicle used by Astral Resource Corporation employees. That's our transport vehicle.
Eve, why are we here so late in the day? Everyone's gone home.
No idea, pal. Trudy had it down as an urgent job, and we need the overtime credits.
I love the echo showing that you can hear them talking inside of a helmet.
All right, let's open it up.
Open access door. This is a good idea, right? You're adding this right now? Hell yeah.
Bitter machinery. Roland, take down a message for Junior Engineer Stuart.
Hit me.
Alex, Maeve again. Door to mining claim 749 is on the fritz. Sounds like the servo needs replacing. Again. First thing, please.
Message sent. So, how are we getting in?
There's an old access shaft we can use. Back up the other passage.
Hey, look. A box. Is it full of stuff? Can I have it? I can't have it. Throw items, scan radar. Oh, the scan looks nice.
Mess. Now we're all gonna have to do a workplace tightness and safety seminar tomorrow.
Elevator? You enjoyed this game when they had a demo earlier than this, really? I have never seen it outside of Indiecember. I love this whole event so far because I am finding so many games and so many communities that I've never known of.
This call
Like,
will be
legitimately.
recorded.
Maeve, I was expecting to hear from you by now.
That cost-effective door mechanism you ordered is on the fritz. Again. We're taking the old shaft into the claim.
Time is money. Chop chop.
Disconnection jingle, dude.
Eve, look! Kalinite!
Ugh, extraction team is getting sloppy. Well, may as well grab it while we're here.
I like this. That's cool. A lot of games wouldn't do that. They would just be like, oh yeah, you mine it. It instantly goes into an inventory. But the drone picking it up and like pulling it to itself is quite neat. I like that a lot. I can't climb this. There we go. Yeah, that feels good. And like I have to wait for it to pick it up. And it like pulls it into me. Yeah, no, I like this. Cool. Yeah, it's a little bit more immersive. Exactly. Yeah, it's a nice vibe overall. Exactly. Oh?
Sky
Warmer.
sapphires. Those weren't on the prospecting report.
Weird. That means the team wouldn't have had the gear to extract them.
Lucky my laser has a charge mode. Remember to build up the energy sphere to crack the nodes.
Are you trying to teach your grandmother to suck eggs right now, Roland?
That's cool.
Never hurts to have a wee reminder. You are 35 now, Maeve.
Wow.
Gosh, you.
Wow. That robot just called you old. You like that they glow? Me too. I like it a lot, actually. I like the dialogue between the characters. I really enjoy that.
This call
Oh,
will be
corporate
recorded.
jingle. No. No more corporate.
Maeve, finally. The board have decided to trigger the accelerated extraction protocol.
What? We're almost down to the mineral seam.
The latest data shows more than just that seam.
Of course. Sky sapphires.
That's right. A pleasant surprise for everyone. Ultra in demand for our luxury adornments division. So, we need extraction completed by tomorrow.
I don't know. This whole area is unstable.
We've adjusted for that. Everything will be fine. Just do a quick scan to confirm the explosives are in position, and we all get a nice 0.4% efficiency bonus. Everything looking okay? That's great. Now, there should be a crate containing the arming key nearby. The code is 1992.
Code obtained.
Okay, use the key to
I'm glad I
arm
had
the
actually put it
charges,
in.
Maeve.
Can I right click it? There we go. Running away.
My projections show these explosives could collapse the entire mine. We have to get out of here.
What? The Invermark colony is above us. People could be hurt. We need to stop it.
How? The charges are armed.
We can override them with my... Oh no. I left my data pad at the RPC when we arrived.
Go, Maeve!
We have to use that access shaft again. Oh, stupid broken door.
All right, well, everyone's gonna die and it's our fault. For profit. Yeah, and it's running time. No, it's not good.
The system says you're at a safe distance, maybe. Ready to go?
I am definitely not at a safe distance.
I told you we've run the numbers. It's fine. I'll just go ahead and start the countdown now you're clear.
Oh God.
Done. Ping me once the dust settles. Toodles.
Run, Maeve! Run!
10 seconds.
Keep running!
That's probably fine, right? That's probably fine. Wait, what would happen if I turned around and ran back at the bombs? Oh, several months later? I'm super dead. I'm super dead. Wait. Not dead?
This is humiliating.
Hush you. Spare parts can't talk.
Arc ID confirmed.
Love the model.
Designation, Maeve. Role, Lead Geotechnical Engineer. Access granted for work duration of 19 minutes, 54 seconds.
This'll be our ticket out.
Really
Screw
like the
Ark and their soul-sucking grind.
We have to find the right mining claim first. There are 672 for sale today.
Grandad only told us pieces, but with the help of a genius AI drone,
With truly majestic information processing capabilities.
we can use Ark's secret mining data to identify which one was Grandad's old claim. Just need to connect this broken refining manager to a yield arbiter.
Without triggering security.
Okay, Roland, you're up. Or should I say, in.
You know I can float, right?
And if you did, Ark would immediately detect your anti-grav drive.
System accessed. Correlating refining and yield data with your granddad's stories. No results.
Damn it.
Hey, Maeve. Are those thermocouplers realigned yet? That refining manager is scheduled to restart in 41 seconds. And any loss of output will be deducted from your pay.
Don't sound Trudy.
32 trillion credits in minerals a year. But they'll cut our maintenance fees any chance
Oh,
they...
672, Roland. We need to track it down faster. He talked about a speculatus, something.
Searching. No match.
Oh, what are we looking for, Grandad?
Maeve, we're almost out
There
of...
was a Kappa. Oh, what was it?
A Kappa.
Module. Kappa module.
Searching.
Kappa module.
Claim packet cosine. Kappa AZ1 torn.
Hey, you okay?
What? Yeah. Why?
You just.
No time. Claim ID is AZ1.
Whew. Let's take a look.
Last occupant 35 years ago. Middle of nowhere. Estimated yield value is low. You'll need a loan, even with all your savings. Not going to be much left for supplies. Hope you like cactus juice.
Worth it to be free of these parasites. Middle of nowhere's just a bonus. Lots of privacy, so we can track down whatever the Kappa module is.
All right.
Maeve, I have rated your performance as sufficient but requires improvement.
Ugh.
If you are done, your next assignment is...
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely done. They tell you if you work hard and keep your head down, anyone can make a life working here.
It's a lie.
It's not really life, though, not after they're done with you. Tired and empty and dead inside. I'm not gonna let it happen to me. No more scraps while they feast. Buying Grandad's old claim cost everything I had, but at least now, everything I do for me. And Roland. I just hope whatever he wanted us to find under AETHUS is worth it.
I need to be honest for a moment. The entire conversation we had before this game is incredibly relevant now. We had a whole conversation about corporate bullshit right before playing this. It is very poignant. Yeah.
Are you not going to get a bit locked in there?
I bought it off the scrap heap after what happened at the Invermart mine.
Boss makes a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
It's air conditioned.
That's how it works.
Well, la-dee-da. Come on.
Can I
We're
climb?
nearly there.
I'm stuck.
What arc charged for the shuttle you think would be closer to the claim?
Not too far now. Just through this canyon.
I really like the cutscenes as well. I think they're really well done. Incredibly so. Oh, look at that. I love the way that those destroy it. Look at this. That's so cool. No, I like that a lot. Oh, God. What have I done? I'd do it again. We're getting biomass from doing this. That's quite neat. I like that a lot. Fully actual destructible, not just Gibbs. Like, procedural destruction. It's quite amazing. Nice job. Really amazing. Yeah, no, looks great.
Is that it down there?
Aye, but unless you have an anti-grav drive hidden in that suit, you need to find a safe way down.
Disintegrated. Love that. I love that you've made like a thin portion so you can just do that, you know? It feels really good to hit like a thin portion of an object and have the whole thing tumble down. Yeah, the voice works really well, the gameplay feels really good, the destruction is very satisfying. Yeah, eat it, nature. I'm gonna turn you into stuff. I don't even know what stuff I'm turning you into. Getting stuck in like the Skyrim trap where I'm just looting everything. Which means it feels good, so, worth. I'm just gonna... Oh, it's not gonna let me jump down. I was like, what if I just jump down? You would love the strip mine in this game? Same.
You got anything to eat, Roland?
I'm afraid we're all out.
Wait.
I did try and get you to pack an extra nutrient bar, but you said, and I quote, Roland,
Interesting.
we'll find food when we
Regolith
get there.
chunks?
It's
Sandstone
an
shard?
adventure.
Weirdly good and
Okay, so we can actually find items
There are
too.
cacti
Just in the dirt.
abundance here. You should be able to harvest some fruit from them until we can cook up something better.
Okay, let's warm up your laser with something easy to start.
Yeah, there's actually stuff in the dirt. That's very interesting. Hit tab and then consume a thing. Okay. Use.
Feeling better?
Yep. Not the tastiest thing, but it's helping.
Once we get set up, you'll be able to start cooking hot food. Don't worry.
More cactus fruit. You know what I'm always fascinated by in video games that are like survival games? And I always find this to be quite funny. Is when you eat an object, let's say the object is a pound, and you eat it. Your weight goes down. But you haven't gotten rid of it. It's in you.
Watch your feet, Maeve.
And I've always thought about that, of having like the digestion kind of mechanics, where it's like, yeah, no, you totally have gained weight for the time that this is part of you, right? High metabolism, super high metabolism, right? A lot of games don't explore that. I think it's just because it's like a lot of minutia. It's not that fun, right? Is his laser beam less fast on items that are heavier? It seems like it.
Let's go and get the outpost set up.
I'm just getting food, man. Need stomach UI for that? I know, right? You'd have to have like a stomach UI and like a digestion mechanic and a metabolism mechanic and like...
We're
Maybe stats to support it.
This is it?
This is it! It doesn't look like much right now, but with a little bit of work, we'll be up and running in no time.
Doesn't look like much. It looks like a barren desert filled with scrap.
It is. But it's what's underneath us that matters.
True.
Want to dig.
I was kind of hoping for something a wee bit more impressive, though.
Let's start zapping, so we can build up something impressive then.
Way ahead of you.
Agreed. Then we can figure out how to start looking for this Kappa module Grandad mentioned should be around here.
Metal scrap. Alright. Right-click to pin a construction plan to easily track that. We can build with B. And then facilities, and do a makeshift forge, and then just place it out there.
Right. First priority, shelter.
Agreed. Night will be falling soon, and we don't want to be stumbling around in the dark when a dust storm
Deposited
hits.
refinable items.
Can you come up with specs for a shelter using this scrap?
Done. Already in your blueprint library.
Getting a lot of metal this way, too. Alright, we got enough food supplies for now, I think, because I've got a bunch of cactus fruit. Keep my water up. There we go. I'm just gonna go around and get metal while this is going off. Honestly, the harvesting in this game feels incredibly fun. Mostly because of the full procedural destruction of this. It feels great. Like, that's cool, man. It feels satisfying, right? That'll have food. Okay, so we can just deposit everything. Biomass is used as fuel. So we need biomass for fuel, and then we can go from there. What is this? Huh. Regolith. Okay, so we can get very large stone off of these. Also looks like our beam actually has an energy amount that slowly regenerates over time, so I gotta be cognizant of using too much too quickly. Yeah, it's their first game that I see. I'm gonna talk to the developers in about 30 minutes. We're gonna ask them a lot about, like, what their studio's done before, where everybody came from. Like, this is quite good. I really enjoy this. Just gonna collect a bunch of this, then we'll head back. Should have a lot of material by now. Grab that. Alright, let's build. And we're gonna do structures, makeshift habitat. Oh, I actually need scrap. F. I shouldn't have melted it all. A fool! Excited for the interview? Same. This is cool. It's just a really interesting, like, building system, everything. Oh. How do I rotate? Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. Cancel and close is that. Rotate camera is this. How do I rotate the object? There we go. I like that. Welcome to the neighborhood. I like that the roof comes off. That's a really nice touch. Look at that. That's great. That's really good. Furniture, we'll make a bed.
Roof over your head and a place to lay it when you get tired. I must say, this outpost is coming along swimmingly.
Roland, it's a metal box with a bed in it. It's not exactly the size.
Yeah, but it's our metal box with a
All
bed.
great adventures have humble beginnings. Now, there are a couple of things you might like to do to prepare for our first expedition.
Let me guess. Somewhere to store all the riches we're inevitably gonna find?
Yes, and somewhere to cook something a bit heartier than a cactus fruit. You're wasting away. There are also some interesting areas nearby that I saw on our way in. We should check them out.
True enough. Okay, let's go get the lay of the land before we hurtle off into the underground to make our fortune.
That's the spirit. I've marked some areas of interest on your compass.
Nice. Changes my weight capacity. So that also has a weight capacity. We need more. Yeah. Super interested in the insufficient in materials in inventory and storage. So like if I go into here and I dump all of this in, right? And then I go to build. You guys did storage inventories for building. Even though my character doesn't have enough in their inventory, it pulled from storage. That's great. It's one of the biggest pet peeves I have in games like this, that they just don't do that. So nice. Modify mode. Move with M. Nice. Alright, let's see Frontier Cooking. We need another facility. It's gonna be a scrap grill. I need more scrap. Alright. I wonder if I should have this in the house. Wonder if it matters, right? Maybe. Need more scrap. Oh, wait. Piece of cactus. Normally a damn mod if you have to install afterwards. Yeah, no, they did a really good job. It's just part of the base game. I really like that, actually. I think that's a big deal to me. Salazine tablets. Recipe created by Arc Mining employees. Provides a stimulating effect to the human body, enhancing muscle function temporarily. Applies the energy boost status when consumed. Bottled water. And a terraforming charge. Interesting. Getting some more crap off the ground. Need all that scrap. Can you scrap the loot chest? I don't know. Maybe. Let's go find out. It's a good shout. No, but maybe. I dismantled it and it gave me building material. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, that's great. They say that scrap is just S-tier crap. That's true. You're not even wrong. Yeah, I really like that I can salvage that. That feels good. Oh, that storage is full. We need bigger storage. This is becoming a problem. The storage has a certain amount of weight capacity that's allowed. So that's where we're running into that problem. Alright, let's see here. I love weight-based materials like that, or weight-based systems like that. Time to grill. Cooking panel. We need a cactus fruit and a biomass, and we can make a grilled cactus fruit. Alright. How good is that? Is it tasty? 4 energy, 4 nutrition, 2 hydration. Alright. I need to use it. There we go.
A hot meal, finally.
We need more cactus
Gotta
fruit.
keep on
We
top
need
of
more
my
biomass.
nutrition while I'm working. I always feel a lot stronger when I've eaten well.
Need some biomass, need some cactus fruit. I'm a little bit concerned that we're gonna run out of food.
Oh, an oasis. Lucky. We still have some drinkable water.
Hang on, Maeve. Let's just double check. Give it a scan and let's see.
Oh.
Drinkable is definitely a relative term for the water here.
Oh, how come?
All the compounds fragments I'm picking up mean you'll definitely want to purify this water before you drink it.
No scooping it up with my bare hands then.
Ugh, afraid not.
Alright. Is there variable gravity on different planets? I have no idea. I've seen as much as you guys have. So far, I really like the mining and building. It feels quite nice. Okay, let's go to the cooking panel. More! Cook it all! Okay, let's go to build. Small dirt pile, nice. We can just place biomass. That's kind of cool. I love that you can just do placeables, like put a bottled water on something, so you can like add furniture and then like place things on top of it. That's rad. That's great, actually. Eat it all. Alright, I need to get more cactus fruit. That's going to be a major problem if I don't. Hey, what are these?
Tracks coming and going from this cave. I guess the previous expedition came and went through here.
Certainly looks
Lotus
that way.
fruit. Lotus
Scan
seed.
time.
I found glow cactus.
Yep. I'm detecting plenty of minerals as well as the remnants of man-made structures. Once we're ready, I'd say this is where we start heading underground.
I got some Glotus seeds, so that's really good. I didn't have any seeds before, so I was a little bit worried we were going to run out of food. What is that? It's a rock. Oh. Delicious cactus fruit. Ah, what the hell is that? New journal entry? Okay. Bottled water? Moisture farmer? Ooh. Desert heat is brutal, but I like to come out here sometimes, though, just to think. Maybe it's time taken on the trek up, or perhaps the fresh breeze of the air up here. Either way, clarity of purpose often comes quickly, not like down there. The Ark satellites will have been retasked by now, so the likelihood of anyone spotting me is almost non-existent. But still, these trips are a calculated risk. Worth it, though, when my resolve wavers. User unknown. Yoink. Can't melt that, though, because we don't have the code for it.
Wow. That's a big hole. I can't even see the bottom.
Fire off a suit scan. Maybe we can get a return bounce from whatever's down there. No return bounce. It really is deep. Maybe if we brought some external scan charges like I'd suggested, Maeve.
There's no way I was lugging that much across the desert. We had to travel light to get here. It's fine. The crater's not important. Don't worry about it.
Oh, nice. A waterfall of blood. A bloodfall? That bodes well. Give it a scan. Okay, good news. Not a blood waterfall. It is just water. High levels of aluminium oxide, though. And silicates. Phenocrysts. Carbonyl sulfide. Whenever it flows from, the temperature is high.
Huh.
Maeve, I reviewed that last cave scan.
Anything interesting?
There's a dense energy reading in there. Artificial and strong.
Strong enough that we could use it to power a basic habitat?
Distinctly possible. When you're ready, head into the caves and let's explore.
You have a waterfall filled with bauxite. We've got a cave. I need to go make food. I need to make food first. Yeah. Yeah, bauxite. Exactly. I'm really interested in, like, how they handled materials and like, how fantasy material it is. Because we have glow cactus, you know? Assigned a hotbar. How do we use that? Can we farm? Do I have to use a dirt pile? That's a placeable. Is that how we farm? I don't know. Dew catcher. That's super useful. I like that. Yeah, that's really good. Getting free water? Yes, please. Nice. Mushroom soup, we can get cave mushrooms. Cave mushrooms. Alright, what else can I build? What else we got here? Production. All that is normal. Storage. Bed. Glotus fruit. Decoration. I'm wondering if this decoration actually matters. Let's find out. Looks like the answer might be no. No. Yeah, I got a dirt pile. My very own. Yeah, it looks like that doesn't allow me to farm, which is fine. Maybe I have to build like a hydroponics bay or something. Something ridiculous. Take it all. There we go. And now we can go dump all of this. That is not what I wanted. Alright, I think we're good now. Yeah, I think we're good. I got a bunch of food. Nutrition's up. I might make a little bit more food. Because if I'm gonna go underground, I'm gonna be I'm going underground, dude. I'm a mole person. I'm not coming back. That's the end. That's the end of it. Farming is via hydroponics later in the game. That makes more sense. I like that. I like that it immediately didn't turn into, like a lot of survival games I think make a huge mistake where like survival doesn't really matter very quickly. And it looks like this is not doing that, where like survival is definitely still mattering quite a lot. Which I think is good. Like that feels nice to me. Very much so. Also, since I know the existence of cave mushrooms, that means that we can go into the cave and still be able to find things to eat. Never eat a mushroom without cooking. Can you also just sleep? I don't know. I'm going to the cave.
Ah, get a whiff of that toxic, dangerous air. Oh, you'll need to be careful with how long you stay down here, Maeve.
Short trips are okay for now, but I'm gonna need some upgrades if we're gonna get much further in.
Maeve, look! Our first node!
Ah, this is it. The mother lode.
Haha, you're right. It's mainly dirt and rock. But there are resources we can use to upgrade the outpost.
Need to find a mushroom.
The energy readings are coming from that crate. Check it out.
RTG. An extremely powerful self-contained power source capable of supporting a habitat and associated
An
facilities.
RTG? Huh. Well, that would
That's a nice
explain the
one.
energy readings.
Ooh-wee. This is big. We can build a proper habitat with this bad boy.
The last expedition here obviously did a sloppy job of cleaning up after themselves. Well, let's head back to the surface.
There's probably no reason why the last expedition did a sloppy job, right? Like no incredibly negative reason that would happen. Right? Right? Couldn't be any issue there. Not like they left really fast and
Maeve, watch
for
your
a specific
oxygen
reason, right? Right? Yeah, no reason whatsoever. What is that? What is that? Cave mushroom. Sick. More cave mushrooms. Sick. I like that the breathing gets more labored. As you said, they run out of oxygen. I quite like that.
Now that you've got that RTG, let's get a basic habitat built.
It's just a nice, subtle reminder that, hey, you're dying. Yeah. Cave cactus, glotus, actually. Wom, 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 wom. Oh man, I need a basic habitat. I gotta get rid of my shitty habitat. Maybe not. Maybe we just do this. Maybe we put it in the middle. Maybe I get rid of this thing. Can I get rid of this thing? Can't get rid of that thing, can I? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go and do build, and we'll do structures, and then the basic habitat. Just gonna kind of place it out in the middle for now, and then we'll go from there. It's a big building, man. Huh. Oh, I can make can stacks now. That's kind of cool. Access platform. I think that snapped a minute ago. There we go, now it's snapping. Wait, there.
Now that we're up and running with a proper habitat, we're gonna need some more building materials.
Definitely. There's only so much scrap around here to melt down.
We really should get a regolith printer built. There's an entire planetary crust right here to help us.
Good plan. The regolith we gather from the nodes in the caverns will provide us all the building materials we need.
The RTG.
Excellent work, Maeve. A nice little habitat, I must say.
Yep. A lot better than that little metal box, right?
Very much so. Plus, thanks to the RTG we found, it has power!
Now we can really get things started with some proper equipment.
Indeed. Plenty of facilities to construct in order to start processing those resources from the caverns.
We can start exploring deeper underground as well. Oh, there is bound to be good stuff down there.
Gotta go salvage this. More power, yes. I'll have the devs on in just a minute as well. I just need to do this. And deposit refinable items. Just need 2 more and then we can go build the thing. Alright, let's build this. We're gonna do facilities, the regolith printer. There we go.
That's the printer setup.
Lovely. The regolith of the planet's surface makes for excellent building material.
Hell yeah.
I also have a bunch of stone that the printer won't accept. We'll need to crush it down to get anything usable from it.
There's metal ore in here as well. So
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
It's worth getting a
Whoops.
smelter built.
I meant to move it and I accidentally destroyed it. There we go. A smelter. Crafting bench. Stone crusher. Alright, now it begins. Now it begins. Alright, I'm gonna start putting stuff up in this building. I need to get special items, it seems, from that cave. If we want to make a stone crusher, we just need metal, so that's fine. So just gonna make some more metal bars. And then I can go from there. I really like this. This feels really good. Everything makes sense. It's nice. Huh. Why isn't that working? Oh, I need 2 scrap per, that's why. Hell yeah, man. Have you played Myst? Myst is a very good game. Myst is quite good. I really like this mining, honestly. Like, just the procedural destruction is just awesome, I feel like, to be real. You guys ready to have the dev on? Because this is rad. I can't wait to talk about this. Let me turn the in-game sound down lower, so that way it can keep playing while we have them on. Yeah, we'll get the dev on. Give me just a minute. Just one more mine. Just one more mine. Wonder if sleeping will regain my energy at all. Let's see if that affects my stats. I don't know if it did. Did that give me energy back? I think it did. Alright, we're going to pause this. I'm going to settings. We're going to turn down the audio quite a bit. Get it to about 30 on each of these, so half of where it was. And there we go. Apply those settings. Yep. And now, let me go grab the devs, man. Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Thor. Yeah, how's it going?
Going good. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself, tell chat who you are and what you work on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Alex. I'm the developer of AETHUS. I used to work in AAA for about 7 or 8 years at studios like Rockstar North, Build a Rocket Boy, Splash Damage. And I quit my job and went indie about 3 years ago, coming up in 3 years, to make
Awesome.
AETHUS.
Are you the only developer, or is there a bunch of people working with you on this?
So I'm a solo dev, but I have a bunch of freelancers who also work with me, like do some of the audio design, the soundtrack, things like that.
That's fantastic.
So pretty much solo. I'm the only one with the project. The only one working on it, like as an employee, and even kind of putting in more than the basic amount of time. Yeah.
That is fantastic. Like, that is really. I expected you to have a whole team behind you. This is great, dude. Like,
Thanks.
no, that's amazing. Yeah, chat's blown away by that as well. Like, that's really impressive. And I understand the idea of leaving AAA. You seem to have a pretty good narrative in the video game, just a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's a little familiar, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I think that this is great. I love that the narrative of the game is something. You know, I feel like maybe you should explain. Is it a very personal narrative for you? Because it feels like it is.
So it is. And I think, you know, after working on anything for so long, it becomes really personal anyway. And I feel like it's a weird thing when you're creative and you work with characters that you create, they become really real to you. So like Maeve's story is really personal to me now. There's a lot of themes that run through it that are very personal to me, and particularly, excuse me, the kind of core aspects of going and starting and doing something for yourself, leaving that kind of safety net behind, and you know, the sometimes exploitative nature of the world that we live in nowadays, and trying to make something for yourself. That's kind of what I've been channeling into this company, into this game, and into the story, you know.
Yeah, no, I super agree. I think that it is. I love that, and it came through immediately. It's funny. It was right before we started playing the game. We were talking about corporate environments and like how rough that is, and then I started playing the game.
I was watching and grinning to myself. I thought, yeah, this is the perfect game to be playing straight after that conversation.
It just made me laugh. I was like, I didn't even realize. That's fantastic. Yeah, no, it's. I think you've done a really good job with the narrative. I like the voiceovers. So like,
Thank you.
I'm going to guess that I'm going to guess that those aren't your voices, right? So you did that through.
Although that said, you haven't met the character yet, but there is a character that is voiced by me as well later in the game. You know, being a kind of bootstrapped, self-funded indie dev with no publisher or anything, you kind of got to have like wear all the hats, right? And so I even took my hand at a bit of voice acting later on as well. But the main characters are, you know, professional voice actors, and there was one thing that I really wanted to do because it is a story and narrative-driven game. I felt like it was really important to have really high quality voice acting, and I couldn't have asked for a better set of actors, and they're just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, no, so far the voice acting has been fantastic. Like, I've really enjoyed it. I think it adds a lot to the game, and I'm always iffy on voice acting because, like, if it's done in a way that feels weird, it can ruin a whole character. But that is not the case here. Like, these characters feel fantastic. You guys done an awesome job. Yeah.
One thing that because I wrote pretty much the whole game myself as well, so all the dialogue, all the story, everything, and I tried to. I think there's a thing that can happen in game, particularly in AAA, but in game writing, when you have game writers, there's these kind of tropes and patterns and templates that people fall into where game writing kind of feels quite samey. So I've really tried to just channel, my own thoughts and feelings into the writing to make it feel relatable, particularly because I really wanted people to be able to relate to it. And a lot of the themes are so relatable, and people just sick as you play further on, you'd see. But it's all about that exploitative nature of the world that we live in, and capitalism these days and stuff, and trying to make sure there's a lot of relatable tropes in there that people can really relate to, and yeah, it's I've tried to make it feel like it's come from the heart, effectively.
Yeah, no, it does feel that way, and I think you've done a very good job. I think that's hard to do as well, and it's because you never know if it's going to miss someone because they haven't been in that kind of an environment. And
100%.
I think for me it's hit, but I've also come from that environment. So I think for other people on like this, at least in the community, there's quite a lot of people who are like, yeah, no, I feel that. So it's quite nice. But I think you've done a very good job.
And it's not gonna resonate with everybody, and you can't please everybody. And I really tried to channel the things that I think can make the game really strong, and particularly on the narrative front. And not everybody likes story games. A lot of people like survival games, and they just want to chill out and not have to worry about a story and not follow along things. They just blow stuff up and craft and explore, and that's totally cool. But I felt like for me, narrative and story is really underserved in this genre. I always kind of think to myself, why is then stories always treated as an afterthought in most survival games? They'll go into early access with no story at all, or maybe a few like logs in the world and things to find, and then they'll tack on some story, kind of probably the last update before they call it 1.0, and then that's the story. But I wanted to really build a game with the story right at the heart from the very beginning, because I just felt like it's not something that you see every day. And Subnautica particularly has been a big inspiration for me. I kind of sometimes call the game Underground Subnautica, which I also can't believe no one's made really before. So I've tried to channel a lot of that, but really make the narrative and the characters shine right from the beginning. Yeah,
no, it definitely feels that way, and it feels quite good. So I think you've hit it. You've done it. You've done it in a way that it feels nice. I'm playing around with your building system. This is actually really great feeling. So like you've done. Awesome. It doesn't feel like it gets in its own way, right? And a lot of building systems do feel that way. So it just
I've spent a lot of time trying to make it powerful but easy to use. So a lot of quality of life features in there. Just even like the fact that you can build from storage. Like somehow games these days, survival games, still miss the ability to craft and build from storage, which is I can't play games that don't have that anymore.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I see that all the time, and I'm like, that's like the basic. That's the most basic thing. Like you don't screw that up. I super agree with that. It always makes me laugh because I'm like, what do you like? Why would you not add that to the game? Is the first thing that you do. In fact, someone in chat said, I just saw that you have the ability to craft from storage, instant buy. And that's exactly what it is. People don't want to have that as friction. It's not fun friction.
That's it. And I think what people that kind of design the game sometimes feel like that friction is important as a part of the progression. And I kind of see where they're coming from, because that feeling of unlocking a new ability that's so powerful as building from storage is a really good driver for the player. But the frustration that comes before that is overwhelming compared to the benefit that you get from it afterwards. And actually, you're going to end up potentially losing players because you don't have that before they unlock it, and often it always comes too late as well. You don't want to play 2 or 3 hours of the game before you unlock that, right? So I kind of see where they're coming from, but I think it's just a no-brainer these days because it's so basic.
Yeah, I agree completely. So give me a little bit of your inspirations for this. What kind of games did you call on to be like, this is the game I want to make, these are the types of features I want to have? Like where did all this come from for you?
Yeah, totally. So I think kind of the base inspiration is Subnautica, honestly. Just in my opinion, probably the greatest survival game ever made. It's just I really took from that, the world is just such a character. And I wanted to kind of bring that to the game as well. But I wanted to take it into there are, other people have made underwater survival games again since then. And I just think you're really shooting yourself in the foot before you even start trying to make an underwater survival game, because Subnautica is just so good. You're competing against the best in class, right? So I thought, let's try something else. And I've always had this kind of thing about mining and mining games. And for me, that's like a really powerful fantasy, and particularly in the sci-fi realm of, drills and how it interacts with the corporate kind of style of dystopian sci-fi future, that kind of thing. So I knew that that was the kind of theme that I wanted to go towards. So I thought, why not like an underground version of Subnautica? But really lean in even more heavily on the narrative, because it you know, Subnautica is probably one of the strongest narrative games in the genre, but I still don't think it's exactly a story-driven game, right? There's no, in the first game anyway, there's no character voice acting and things, for example. I know they tried that with Below Zero. It didn't work super well, I think. Commercially, people didn't like it that much, and that's definitely something in the back of my mind. Like I was saying, not everybody wants fully voiced characters and story in their survival game, but I respect them for trying. But I wanted to really push that a bit further and go heavier on the narrative, but keep it there so that there's always something driving you forwards, because for me it's such a big motivator. And yes, you can have the most in-depth survival crafting systemic gameplay, which is super satisfying. It's what we love about the genre. But if there's no reason to keep playing, I just end up kind of falling off the game after a few hours. I love, I don't know if you've played Vintage Story.
Okay, so Vintage Story is one that I have on my list. I'm going to be playing it after Indecember. They've actually they sent me a little statue of one of their characters. The devs did for that.
Nice.
I cannot wait to play it, and like our community wants me to play it. I want to play it. And I'm like, no, we've got to do Indecember first.
Yeah.
Well, like in January, I'm going to be doing it because I really,
I think
really
you'll like
the
it.
look
You'll
of it.
like it. It is the most in-depth survival game, I think, out there, basically.
Really?
You know, you've got to like nap your own tools with like a voxel-based tool kind of system, like out of clay, and firing clay into pots, and then putting. It's just absolutely insanely detailed and wonderfully systemic, which really pushes my buttons. But then it's the version I played, which a couple of years ago now, but there wasn't really this overarching goal to aim for. So I was loving all these systems, and I put like 5-10 hours into it, and then I'm like, okay, well, what am I kind of actually doing this for, you know? So they can only take me so far. So that was my motivation, really.
Nice.
But to answer your question, other than Subnautica, there was a game called Lego Rock Raiders. I don't know if you remember that one.
I do. Give me just a moment, actually. We just had ads start. The ad break is now over. So for those of you who are in the ads, we were talking a little bit about regional pricing during the ads for that. Actually, I'm interested in your take on regional pricing if you want to talk about that, because you just said that you changed it ahead of the launch.
Yeah. So I've just gone through and kind of tweaked some of the regions and countries because I think Steam's data is pretty out of date basically right now. So trying to figure out like where player sentiment is from different countries and stuff. The one that I did most recently was Poland.
Good.
Like Poland has a huge gamer, like really avid gamers, right? So I want to make sure to support the Poles as much as I can, and their pricing was like 30% over what it actually should be, seemingly. So I've basically just reduced my price by 30% in Poland.
That's great.
So hopefully that makes it.
We actually bring up Poland all the time. Like I talk about it all the time as being one of the countries that gets owned by this. Like their pricing is just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like Poland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and Brazil are the big ones that just get slammed for no reason. Like Australia pays like 30 to 40% over what they should, and same thing with Poland, same thing with Brazil. It's insane. It's too much.
I don't know why Steam don't just go back through and update their data, you know, because it talks a lot about like making it fair, and it's not just based on currency conversions and stuff, but then they haven't actually updated it in years, so it's a bit useless.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about it is it's also based on like disposable income in that region of like what are people able to pay beyond just their income limit. Because you could base it off income limit, but if you just base it on income and they have like a lot of income but they pay everything to survive, no one's buying your game there. Like that's just how that goes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Heck yeah. No, absolutely fantastic. Love that. Really, really love that.
Awesome.
Trying to get.
Oh, we were talking about Rock Raiders.
Yeah.
So did you play Rock Raiders back in the day?
I have not. No.
Oh man, that see, for me that was a game of like my early gaming years. Rock Raiders is featured heavily. So, and again, it kind of maybe that's where this mining kind of theme, fantasy obsession came from. But you know, it was a very formative game for me. So I really wanted to channel some of that and just the sense of discovering this underground world that opens up before you, basically, and just finding every little nook and cranny is the kind of experience that I wanted to give to other players. So. Yeah, that's definitely a big one. and then just kind of trying to take bits and pieces from all kinds of survival games and the best bits from different ones, and making sure that all the quality of life stuff is in there. We talked obviously about the build from storage, but there's like everything you can do from storage in the game: crafting, building, whatever. There's like you said, the building system. You don't get penalized for deleting stuff. You get all your crafting materials back. I always again find it a bit crazy when games penalize you for wanting to just move stuff around.
Yeah,
and they don't provide you a move function, and then they make you delete it, and then don't give you all your stuff back. It seems crazy.
So you're like, build it first, build it one time, and if you don't do it right, you lose
it.
Yeah, no, it never felt good. That was what I was worried about when I was like, oh no, I accidentally deleted that. And I was like, wait, I got everything? That's fine? Cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah, totally. Like, I kind of just look at it like, what's the best experience for the player? Like, there's a kind of, as a game designer, you have to kind of think about the progression and how's it going to be satisfying, and making sure that the timing of new features and stuff comes online at the right times. But there's certain things that just make the player's life so much better and so much easier. And you like, just don't gatekeep those. Like, it just doesn't like come up with other stuff, you know? It's outdated to do that.
Love this.
And I think that's kind of ties to the AAA thing, you know. In AAA, they would just gate it and be like, no, that's the way it's done. And it's quite archaic.
But why? That's the way it's done,
exactly.
but
no
why?
One questions that,
yeah, no one.
right?
They're like, oh, okay, that's the way it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I hated
so
that.
I'm trying to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I really like about the indie scene is that you can make a decision that you're like, this might be better, and you could be right, and you could be wrong, but you're free to just, go and explore that, which is something that's not able to be done a lot of the time in AAA. Like, a lot of the times in AAA, it's like, no, that's risky. We don't want to take the risk.
And I can kind of see both sides of it, like having been in it and also at a position where I was able to make some decisions like that. But at the end of the day, being indie, especially being solo indie, and being able to just, I'm beholden to nobody. If I want to try something, I just try it out. The only limiting factors are time and money, right? Which are, to be fair, important limiting factors. But if I think that something is going to really, really improve the game, I can just try it out and very quickly try it out and iterate and get to the right place really quickly. Speaking
of that, of you have full control of your own ship, can you talk a little bit about how you feel about publishers and why you didn't go that route?
Well, that's an interesting one. So I did actually sign with a publisher for a while. And this was, oh man, time is hazy. I just had my first child this past week. So time is kind of...
Time isn't real anymore. Yeah, it's gone.
It's not real anymore. So it was like in the past year, but not in the last few months. And I did sign with a publisher. But we ended up parting ways pretty quickly. I didn't feel that the partnership worked. And I don't want to disparage them in any way.
No reason to. Yeah.
We would always want to keep it professional and everything. But it wasn't the right relationship. And I now feel that publishers are not the right route for me personally.
Fair.
And I think that there's a lot of predatory practices in publishing, in indie publishing these days. I'm not saying that's what was happening here, just to be clear. It's a thorny one. So personally, I went with a publisher originally because, and after a fair amount of time into developing the game, it wasn't like near the beginning of the project, it was fairly near the end. But I really wanted to try to hand over the marketing aspects of the game to a partner who I felt would be able to handle it much better than I could.
Not a bad reason at all.
And would be able to like handle it better, have all the time to actually do it, and save me from having to do it, and allow me to actually work on the game, right? I'm just one person. If I'm doing marketing, I'm not making the game. So that was the kind of main reasoning. There was no development funding. It was a purely marketing only publishing agreement. And I was very happy to kind of share the rewards of the hopeful rewards of the game with a partner who can amplify the success. And it just didn't work out. I've gone back to self-publishing, and I think it is actually the right thing for the game. I did kind of feel like, well, there's the whole like what is indie? Are you still indie if you have a publisher? What if the publisher hasn't even given you any money and they're just doing some marketing for the game? You know? Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
still
whole
indie?
thing.
So
The,
that's a
the way
whole
that I
thing.
always see it is it's a very simple kind of thing. Do you have full control over your own video game? Can a publisher in any way tell you when your release date is or change the course of development process? And if the answer is yes, then you're no longer indie because you're no longer independent. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And but now I've got that full control. Of
You
every
have complete
aspect.
control. So you're full indie.
But for better and for worse, right? Because it means that I have that full
scary.
control and independence, but I also have to do everything myself. So yeah, things like this, by the way, are incredibly helpful because this is the kind of thing. And Indiecember, like, is every single dev that you talk to dreams of this kind of an opportunity. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it allows games like this to get out and find an audience that otherwise just might not exist, and it could make or break a game.
I'm kind of blown away by the response that we got. I knew we would get a lot of people to be interested, but we got 500 submissions, dude. Like, and I can't. I was like, okay, well, I'm not taking Thursdays off this month. Like, we're just gonna go, like, and it's worked out. It's been a blast. I think you're in the low 50s for the amount of games that we've shown now. So it's been a ton of games so far, and we've got a lot more to go. But because of that, we're going to do it in June as well. We're going to do it again in June, and then December next year, and we're just going to keep doing that every 6 months because I feel like I need a cooldown between these because it's a lot. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do, but we learned so much from this one, so we're going to make the next process much better. And I'll probably set it up as like a Google form kind of a thing to be like, put a link to your video game, because we had to chase everybody, man. Like, we're like, okay, we're going to do all this over email, and can you tell me a link to your game? And like, fill out this big Google shit. It was just a mess, dude. Like, it was so scuffed, but I'm so happy to do this.
Are so used to filling out these forms because festivals, which this basically is a festival, right, are the lifeblood of indie games. So we have a lot of experience applying to festivals, and they all kind of follow the same pattern. So you'll find a lot of good examples, and I think it will make your life a lot easier and your team.
Yeah. That's my hope, is just we keep doing this, and my goal will always be do this where the indies don't pay anything, and then make it so that we have corporate sponsors to sponsor the event so I can pay everybody correctly. Awesome. And it's worked really well this time, and if it works on the very first time, then I know it's just going to keep working. We're just going to keep doing it.
It bodes really well.
Yeah. I'm super down for it. I think it's very, very fun. So yeah, no, you guys can count on me to keep doing this and doing this thing, because I think it causes a lot of good. And there's so many indies that even I have found throughout this where I was like, I've never heard of your game and it's amazing. Like, I'm gonna play it, right? Like, we had one really early on called Star Vortex that I play on my Steam Deck every time I go to bed now. Awesome. It's just like a bad addiction now.
Yeah. You must have so many indie games running around in your head now. I can't even believe it. You haven't even finished yet, so it's crazy. It's
completely nuts. I think my wish list now like 180 because of this event.
Awesome.
So like a ton of them didn't even get into the show or in my wish list because I'm like, we can't show everybody. We got to do this stuff. So
amazing.
With all of that in mind, like, talk to me a little about the frustrations that you've had with this game. What is the hardest thing that you've had to implement so far? The thing maybe you've learned the most about, throughout your process building.
Yeah. That's a great question. So I guess it might not kind of answer your question, but for me, it's been the marketing side of the making of the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I don't have to talk about that. If you want like a specific mechanic or whatever, I can.
No, go for it. No. The thing is that we got a lot of developers in the community that like are either newer or they want to learn some stuff. Any experience you have, everybody wants that. Like, that's 100% why they're here.
Yeah, I mean, I come, like I said, from AAA. I've done a few years in AAA and kind of know what I'm doing roughly, my imposter syndrome speaking, roughly know what I'm doing to make a game, but I've never marketed one before. I've never actually sold an indie game. I've never worked in a studio on the marketing side or anything like that. So it was a complete starting from scratch experience, which I was really looking forward to, and was a big part of setting up and going indie. I really wanted to learn that and experience that, and I've really enjoyed it. But what I have learned is that I'm not that good at it, I don't think, and it's not really something that I enjoy. So that kind of combination means that I'm always I would rather be working on the game at the end of the day. That's what I love. I'm like a big systems guy. Like, I love making systems and making chunky stuff in the game. So I'm kind of, whenever I have to do marketing stuff, I'm like, I really wish I was just working on the game and someone else could handle it. And that's kind of where the whole publisher side came from. Yeah. But I think the thing about it is it's the same for game development generally. There's so many resources and tools out there now that anybody can do it. Like you really anybody can make a game and sell a game nowadays, thanks to Steam, thanks to every shout out to Chris Stokowski of howtomarketagame.com, because he's the holy grail for like indie devs starting out on that journey of trying to not just make games but sell games. So big shout out to him. Start there, and then you'll start finding all the other tools and resources that'll take you to the right places. So for me, it's been basically the marketing side has been the toughest. The game itself has been, I've learned a lot, and not everything was easy right from the start, but I come from a technical design background, so I kind of have experience, like, what do they say, broad but shallow, basically, experience in kind of almost everything. So I kind of knew my way around everything in Unreal. The game's made in Unreal Engine 5. So I kind of knew a bit about every system, particularly kind of blueprints. The whole game's made in blueprints, by the way.
Nice. Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
It's pretty cool. I do know some C++, but I thought I'm going to try and make it all in blueprints. That's what I used professionally for years, and it's worked. But yeah, so it was about learning, trying to achieve the quality level that I wanted to achieve with the game. Needs more than just a really shallow but broad approach. So I did have to like deep dive on certain things like animations, and animations is probably the hardest thing in the game. There's a feature where you can actually sit in some of the furniture that you can build, like chairs and couches and stuff.
Getting it to a line and everything.
Yeah, getting like the player into the right position and making sure that they like don't clip through stuff and the animations play properly and all that kind of stuff. Just like it's pretty crazy. So that kind of stuff is something I didn't have a lot of experience with on the animation side, and so I had to learn a lot about and making sure that like inverse kinematics of the legs and feet when you're walking on different surfaces and all that kind of different stuff. So yeah, it's really the marketing side is the biggest difficulty that I've faced with the game, but there's just a lot of individual challenges throughout the game that I've had to spend a bunch of time learning and sorting out, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense entirely. I think one of the biggest difficulties that I've ever seen is trying to get, movement feeling correctly, animations feeling correctly, and shadows and lighting. Because it's one of those things where, like, if they're done right, players don't notice. They don't notice at all. They're like, oh yeah, cool, it's a video game. But like, if they're done even a little bit wrong, they're like, something's wrong. Like this bothers me. This game looks bad.
Really quickly notice when stuff isn't right, but they don't just jump for joy when things work as it should.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of annoying, but
yeah. Because like the way I always feel about it is, if you don't notice, it's done correctly. For stuff like that, the base structure stuff. But you have done it really, really well, and like you can see the character like works well on different terrain, and like the lighting looks really cool, and like everything feels great. And I love the procedural destruction. It just feels fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
Because like usually you'll get a game and it like when you go to break something, it's like Gibbs, but this is like full procedural. It feels really nice. And I love the way that it picks up the ore too and everything like that.
That was quite a late addition, actually. So
really?
He didn't do that. Roland didn't do that for a long time. But I think it was playtester feedback or something. And I tied into a couple of other mechanics in the game, kind of spoilery. But later on, you can get an upgrade. There's a big, deep upgrade system for the player character and the drone. And later on, you can get like these super overpowered upgrades. And one of them is that you can do like kind of huge jumps and slow fall with him lifting you up with these gravity tethers that he uses to pull in resources.
That's awesome. No, I really like that. That's cool as hell. I
so
am interested.
Some more movement tools, basically.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm getting back into the cave in just a moment here, but I am super interested. Have you had a demo out for this, or is this like closed kind of play section?
So there has been a demo. I actually took the demo down last week.
Really?
Took it down for the first time. It's been up for a couple of years. Well, 2024 it was when it came out, and I've kind of kept it kind of near continuously updated. But recently, the game had like a big update, basically, with the kind of portion of the game that you've played already. The start of the game had a big rework, I think for the better. And the demo wasn't updated yet with that. And basically, it was going to be a lot of work to update it. And the version that was up no longer represented the game in the best way. And I always want to make sure that the game is presenting itself in its best way. So I thought, I'll take it down, bring it back for Steam Next Fest in February. And it'll be basically the exact version that you're playing now. It'll be the full version of the game. but with the demo limitations. And then when you finish the demo, if you want to keep playing, you just buy the game and you can continue straight away with your save game.
That's fantastic. No, that's really good. I'm always a big, like, God, put a demo up for like everybody. I always tell them like, yes, use it, put up a demo. So that's why I was like, I went to go check and I was like, is it another area? Is Steam hiding this again? Because they do that all the time.
No, 100%. A demo has been hugely. I would also say like everybody has to do it. It's been the demo that was up has been played by almost 10,000 players. And so
that's awesome.
It's been really helpful. I've had so many. I've got an awesome Discord community. I've seen some people joining the Discord as well. Like, thanks everybody for coming and joining that. And an awesome community of playtesters who have been absolutely instrumental in making the game the best it possibly can be. Because I have the vision and the ability, but I'm just one person and I'm the dev. I'm not the player, so I don't see things from the same perspective as the person who's playing the game. And everyone comes in with different viewpoints and different perspectives and different experiences of other games and things they like and things they don't like. And it's the melding pot of all of these different things that go towards making the game really good in the end. Yeah. So I just have to combine all of those things together, and that hopefully comes to the final kind of level. But yeah, so the demo has been awesome for that.
With that in mind, what do you think is the most extreme change that you've made to your game based on feedback from your player base?
Oh wow, that is a good question. I think it's the beginning of the game, actually. So what I was just talking about, there used to be I kind of call it the prologue. It's basically a prologue, right? The version that you played now, you start off and you're still working for the big bad corporation, and you kind of get an introduction to the characters and some of the mechanics and things. In the old version, and actually the demo, which has now been taken down, it's a real flashback to there's kind of two threads of story that go through the game. One is the story of Maeve and Roland and the family aspect, and the grandfather and the motivations there and what was happening on this claim. And then the second part is that there's this expedition, scientific and mining expedition that were here before you, who effectively shut up shop and left and abandoned the claim. But all is not as it seems, and they've actually not necessarily left everything. So these two kind of threads of story, and the prologue used to be very much an introduction to the secondary thread. So it was very much a flashback to when things were happening in the past. I don't want to spoil anything with the story, but things happening in the past, which are kind of origin stories of where the story goes later, and much less focus on the characters. You actually played a different character in the old prologue.
Really? That's super interesting.
Yeah. A character who you have kind of already met, who may have left a certain mysterious log file on the surface, but who will play a bigger role later. And so you played as that character previously, and you got to kind of experience the events. And it was very cool in a lot of ways, but it didn't really serve as a good introduction to the game, and particularly the motivations and the characters. Because I think with a story game, one thing that I realized was that you want to feel why, if it's about the story and the characters, why is the character doing this? What is their motivations? Where have they come from? Why are they doing this? And that just didn't serve that goal, basically. So I kind of went back and thought, let's show that much more blatantly, and introduce the characters, particularly Trudy as well, who's like the arc rep. And she'll come back a little bit after where you are now in the game. And then she's a kind of constant antagonist through the game, one of those characters that you love to hate.
That's awesome. No, I mean, that's a great answer, man. So I'm going to ask you the hardest question. You ready for this?
Yeah, go on.
There's the one that I'm always, like, I think I'm most interested in this because every developer has a very different way of looking at it, and we all know where our weak spots are. I want you to call your baby ugly. What does your game do the worst?
That is a good question.
Every dev knows.
Yeah, I think probably what I still haven't quite nailed is the tutorialization of everything, because there's a lot of stuff in this game. There's a lot of systems. It's quite complex, and just the way you've got a tutorial box at the bottom of your screen at the moment. But I found that actually players don't want to read stuff, basically, right? Like, fair enough. I totally get it.
It's even worse when we're
so
streamers.
It's quite hard. Yeah, exactly. Because then you're also trying to read it and like, do I read this out and like talk it through? Like you read through one of the journals earlier, which is awesome, but you're not going to read through like every tutorial pop-up that comes up. So, you know, you're trying to cater for all these different types of players. And some players just like W key, shift and W, and they just like run through everything. And you try to pace these things so that people can learn quickly, but not too quickly. And it's a very, very fine art. Like, and it's something that I had never really done before. I'd never really worked on tutorialization stuff before. So it's been a big learning experience for me. So, and also at the same time, I'm also trying to tell the story and introduce stuff. Like there's so many different threads all happening at the same time, and not make it boring, and introduce mechanics quickly, but not too quickly. So I think that's probably what it is that the game doesn't still probably tutorialize everything quite well enough. And I don't know if I can make it any better than it is right now, because it's, when you change one thing, you have to change everything, basically.
Yeah.
You know, when I changed the beginning of the game with the new prologue, that changed a lot of the tutorialization timings for a lot of the other features. And I had to kind of design the new prologue very carefully to introduce certain features in certain order and with a certain timing. And it doesn't work for every player. And then you end up with frustrating situations where maybe they've been tutorialized something, but they didn't see it, or they just kind of read it but have forgotten it already because there's so much information. And then they get frustrated because they can't remember what to do, or they feel they haven't been told. And that's a really frustrating position for both the dev and the player, because as the dev, I'm like, I told you, I showed you how to do it. You just missed it, or you ran past it or whatever. But you can't hold that against the player, because everyone plays games differently. They're not just going to go through and play it perfectly every time. So it's a very tough line to walk, basically. So I'd say that's probably the weakest area at the moment.
I think for me, having played through this now, I don't think I was confused at any point during this. I think it all makes sense. Good. But like, I also play a lot of construction style games, so that may be a situation of I'm just used to this kind of game, you know.
Yep.
And that's always like the the other thing too. What seems second nature for one player is, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it will be for another. You never know.
Yeah. I a funny story about that. I got a negative review on the Steam demo a couple of weeks ago from a player who played and said they complained that I was tutorializing how to move the character, and they left a negative review that I put a tutorial prompt on the screen that said, like, use these controls to move the character as the very first thing in the game, and they felt somehow aggrieved by that. So you can't really win in that kind of situation, right? Because for that player it was too much, I guess. Fair enough, I suppose.
But like at that point you're like,
but most players, you need to be told how to play the game, right? At least to know basic controls. So it's a tough one.
I always think that's really interesting, because it comes down to some players don't like a thing, but you have to put it in for the majority of players. And that's all you can really do. Like there's always going to be someone that's like upset about whatever it is you designed, but you're like, okay, well, this one guy is upset, but there's 5,000 people over there that like it. So
yes, and
probably not going to change this, you know?
It's the one guy who's really vocal.
Very vocal.
And the 5,000 who just, who just enjoy the game and they don't say anything. So it's really, you've got to find the right balance between those, right?
To talk about that for a moment, too, a lot of people don't realize this. The average amount of people that review a game is between 1 in 50 and 1 in 75. It is incredibly rare for a player to leave a review. It is less than 2% of the player base will leave a review. It's wild. So like, if you can, leave a review, or go onto a developer's Discord and tell them, let them know what's going on. Because if you give them bug reports and you tell them something feels weird and have a conversation, you can fix that, right? Leaving reviews 100%. Is incredibly positive too. Also, if you guys haven't wishlisted the game yet and you're super interested, here is the game. There you go. Wishlisting helps devs immensely. That is the best way to get the word out for a video game. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, 100%. If the game is not released yet, wishlist it. If it is out, leave a positive review if you've bought it, because those are the two things you can do that will help indie devs the absolute most. Positive reviews are hugely important.
They're enormous.
Because we all know we look at the reviews before we buy a game, right? And if the game is anything less than, even bare minimum positive, if it's mixed, that game is, doomed.
It's gonna have problems. Yeah,
it could be the best game in the world, but if you've got a bunch of negative reviews all quickly, you're kind of doomed. So go leave those positive reviews. It really, really helps.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I am trying to find a way to manage all of my new resources.
Don't worry, you will get bigger crates and
Thank
more
God.
storage and stuff later on as well. Like that is again,
Give
it's
me
one
the
of those things
storage,
about
please.
balancing.
I'm drowning in
balancing,
resources.
progression and yeah.
Honestly, you've made it quite easy to build resources storage right now, and it feels good. And I also like the sizing of facilities. A lot of these games, I feel, get this wrong, and you got the sizing just right, where it's like I can put 2 facilities and 3 crates between. Like that, this feels good, you know.
Yeah, I love seeing the different styles that playtesters have. Like you've built yours very differently than I build mine when I playtest. So it's really interesting to see. And I used to have a system where you kind of had what we call power slots in each habitat. So I wanted to try and make sure players expanded their outpost. So you would connect the habitats. The building system is all about connecting these different habs. Oh, shall I stop for ads?
Yeah, we just had ads again. I was going to let you finish your thought. There we go.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't want to cut you off when you're like in the middle of something. It's hard to get back into that state. But yeah, we just hit the ads pop. I should have said something because I was playing the game instead of looking at the timer.
No. I'm glad you're into it.
I am very much so. I think what you're doing is quite cool. The game is very fun. So kudos.
What was I talking about? A change that I made to the game. Oh yeah, the power slots thing. So we were talking about like laying out your hab and putting all your facilities in different places. I used to have a system to try and encourage people to expand their outpost and build new habs and connect them all together. So there was a limitation on the amount of facilities that you could build in each hab. And I thought this was actually pretty good, but then playtesters hated it, and they were like, "I don't want to have to. I just want to be able to build where I want to build. If I want to squeeze everything into one tiny hab and like not have to move when I do all my crafting and refining and stuff, then just let me do that." And I was like, "Do you know what? You're right." And I just changed it, and so now you can build as long as it's space. You can put anything anywhere you want to, basically, because I don't like to. I kind of try and have a rule of not restricting player freedom as much as possible. That's why I've got things like you can turn off collision checks for anything you build as well. So you could build like in the walls if you wanted to, like if you really wanted to, I guess. Or if there's sometimes, the programming is not 100% or the collision is 100%. And there's like the tiniest gap between things and you know that it would fit there, but it doesn't quite fit. And so you just got to turn off collision checks and that's fine. So things like that, I try and make sure it's easy for players. But yeah, the power slots thing was cool, but now I just leave it up to you. If you want to have all your stuff in one hab, cool, go for it.
That's awesome. I really like that. Is this how I connect these? Am I doing this wrong?
So the snap system goes from where you're hovering the mouse, basically. So if you hover over the door, it'll snap.
Oh.
You've got to hover over the actual thing that you want to snap to, like that.
I see. Now that makes more sense. That's quite cool.
I can probably
like
make that clearer somehow.
No, you're good. I didn't understand it right away. But I guess that's the whole point, right?
Yep.
Figuring out which ones that does. There we go. I'm trying to build an entryway so I can have a bunch of storage in here instead of having it all in here and then save a bunch of space. Yeah, this feels really good. This feels very, very good, honestly. I think that
Thank you.
You've put a lot of work into this and it feels fantastic. One of the things that I noticed right away is being able to have the roofs off like this. The moment you walk into a building, that just feels nice.
Yeah.
So you put a lot of work into this.
One thing that I did try and do was have like a cutaway effect for the walls, so that because you obviously kind of have to keep the camera tilted quite high, and not everybody's into that, and that's a whole thing. Like not a lot of people don't like top-down games, even though it's not 100% of a top-down game, but it puts off a lot of people. But I tried it, and just technically it didn't work. Basically, I spent a lot of hours on trying to get it to work, and it just didn't in the end. So I just went with the kind of cut-off roofs, and I think that's works well enough. There's also a setting actually that you can enable in the options, so that when you're in one habitat, all the rest of the habitats still have their roofs on. So as you move between them, it'll take the roofs off. Just in case like you wanted to admire the stuff that you've put on the rooftops, because you can build like decorations and facilities and stuff on the roofs of the habs as well.
That's awesome.
So if you wanted to see those, you can turn that off as well.
That's actually really awesome. What do you have in terms of accessibility features, by the way? What have you focused on?
There's a bunch. If you want to have a look at them, they're all in the settings. There's a bunch of them. Particularly, I'm quite pleased with the interaction settings. So the mining style in the bottom right, there's 3, I think, different options at the moment. the standard one is kind of inspired. A lot of the gameplay was inspired originally from like clicker games, like Cookie Clicker and that kind of stuff. So you do lots of like what I feel are satisfying clicks to build up like the mining energy to crack the nodes and uncover all the cool stuff. But a lot of people either don't like that, or they have some accessibility need that means that that's painful, or that they don't want to do that. So I was like, and this again is where playtesting has been really, really useful, because those people have been able to come into my Discord and say, do you know, I actually can't play this game. It looks really cool, but I can't play it because I can't click the mouse that fast, you know, or I don't want to click the mouse that fast. So I've added a few different interaction options with that. There's like text scaling settings, there's a bunch of graphic settings. I'm wanting to add more graphic settings as well before launch. There's, I guess it's kind of depends on your kind of definition of accessibility, but the difficulty settings are really very flexible. So at the start,
I saw that. Yeah, that is to me definitely an accessibility setting for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, everyone has their preferences on particularly the survival games, what makes a survival game for them and what they enjoy about them, what they don't enjoy about them. And not everybody wants to manage their food and drink. Not everybody wants to manage their air supply all that much, or they like things really hardcore and they want to mix and match them or whatever. So I've got all these options that you can make things easier, make things harder, to tailor to your own personal choices.
That's cool. I really like that. I actually just turn on negative effects if I get too low on like food and things like that, because I like that more. I like, you know, more gritty kind of survival experience.
Yeah, I'm the same. And that's personally what I play with as well. But I actually went with the default of that being off, because I feel like now the Valheim style positive buffs system is actually more mainstream, basically.
Really?
Probably a wider, like there's different subsets of survival players, particularly, right? And some are like, it's not a survival game because it doesn't have this or whatever. And I've tried to give as many options as possible, but for me, it's the story and narrative come first, and I want you to be able to enjoy that without having to worry about stuff, unless you want to worry about it. So I kind of keep that off by default, but make it very easy and obvious. And you can change them at any time as well. You can mix and match these things, turn them on and off whenever you like. So try and just cater for as many people as possible.
It's quite nice. And it's funny because I see a lot of games going through that right now. Like, people are like, what is a roguelike? And, you know, like now there's a lot of fights over what a roguelike is on social media right now, so I understand completely. It's the same thing for survival.
I don't get the whole gatekeeping thing. It's bizarre to me. Just let people... And there was the difficulty stuff around Silksong as well, right? When it came out. And... like every dev has a vision for their game and the way it should be played, and in my opinion, that's how you make the base version of the game. But like, why stop someone from enjoying it the way they want to play it? Like, who's that hurting? You know, unless it's a multiplayer game. Obviously, we're talking about a single player game here.
Just single player, who cares? Just let them have fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm now expanding this out, and I can see the Subnautica influence now, by the way, because I couldn't quite see it at first, and now that I'm building this out, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
That makes complete sense.
Eventually, you'll get like a networked system of habitats and all the facilities, and then there's habitats with like specializations and bonuses to certain things. So you get bonus resources, or there's a greenhouse that you can grow your hydroponic crops, and that gives a bonus to the crop yield and things like that. So I've tried to make it really satisfying to expand and build out your base, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this power slot system, so that you can experience that to its maximum. But then again, I went to a system of encourage the player rather than punish them. You know, if that makes sense.
That's totally fine to do, and I think it does make sense entirely. It's just, it's always difficult to get to the point where you're like, wait a minute, like I need to change this because the whole design idea that I had just doesn't feel right, you know, and now you have to completely revisit that and start over from scratch, you know. But like, yeah, power to you, you've done it. This feels great. What are you focusing on most right now, getting up to your launch? Because it says for the game that it's going to be launching in Q1 2026. So you're getting there.
Yes. It's a lot of work. Like being a solo dev, like it's a lot of work. There's still lots to do. I'm very happy with how the game is at the moment, and it's finished. It's just not 100% polished, basically. So I'm in the polish phase now. A lot of play testing, a lot of balancing. That will continue right up to launch and beyond launch. I think one of the interesting challenges that I'm going to deal with as launch comes and goes is, where's the cutoff for what is the launch build? What constitutes, like, when do I push patches? when, like, do I save certain things up that are higher risk? Do I push stuff straight away? Because being a solo dev particularly, I have a lot of flexibility and a lot of power to really quickly fix things and change things.
Change
But I
whatever
don't
you
want to
like.
break everybody's game. So
Yeah.
those are the kind of two sides of it. So when we're playtesting, doing playtest, and again, probably beginning of the new year. So if anybody's interested in playtesting, please feel free to join the Discord. That's where it all happens. But during that playtesting, I'm pushing patches like, 4, 5, 6 patches a day with fixes
Oh,
and new
so
stuff.
like rapid fire, yeah.
Really rapid fire, and it's worked really well. But definitely sometimes bugs sneak in, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting challenge coming up to launch and beyond. Trying to maybe get a little bit more of a hold on that to make sure that the game is really, really stable, because I'm trying to aim for, it's a full 1.0 launch, no early access.
So
I'm not
no
doing
early
the
access.
thing.
Wow.
Nope. So to me, it's a real overdone trope in the survival game genre. And I feel like every survival game that comes out now is early access for a couple of years, and then it either finishes or it doesn't finish development. I wanted to deliver a 1.0 polished product right from the start at a reasonable price that people can play a demo of and try it out. And if they don't like it, they don't buy it. If they like it, they buy it. It's old school game dev.
That shouldn't be old school. That should be standard.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly. That should work.
But it is.
I
that's
complain about this all the time. That's good. Good for you.
It's wild. Thank you. And I think that resonates with people. Like, people really seem to respond to that. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Here's a tough one for you. Do you have a number for that reasonable price? And if you don't, it's okay. And if you'd like to ask chat, that's also okay. Some devs do that.
Oh, sorry, my Alexa thing is speaking to me, triggering Alexa again. So I do have a price. It's going to be less than $20 on launch.
Really?
And actually at launch it'll be fairly significantly less than $20. So I really want to make sure it's approachable for everybody, especially with the regional pricing.
That's incredibly surprising. Yeah, no, that's great. I was expecting that to be like 20 at the minimum. So hell yeah, dude. Yeah, people are saying $20. Yeah. Less than 20 is wild.
Yeah, and I think 20. I think so. I haven't 100% confirmed anything, so this is not an announcement. But roughly $20 is going to be probably the base price, and then there'll be a launch discount, and obviously discounting in the future as well. So you can expect less than $20 on launch and around 20 going forward.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's actually awesome, dude. Rad.
Thanks.
Yeah,
trying to just make sure, because times are tough, right? Like, times are tough for everybody. Like, but we all love games, and there's a difficulty because obviously I've worked on this for a long time, and I want to try and make a living off of this. And if this doesn't work out, I'm going to have to go back to AAA, or I'm going to have to do something else. And we all know the state of AAA games industry generally. I know it's really tough. But the only way to stay indie is if people can buy the game. And I really am very aware of how difficult things are at the moment, and want to make sure that that's possible. So I'm hoping that with a really appealing price, that will, make up for. In the amount of copies sold, it will make up for a slightly lower price is my aim, and it will be more reasonable for people.
Honestly, I feel like that's a great way to go. And the reason why is because in the age of digital distribution, you're not paying per unit sold. You're not paying for physical 100%. Distribution of a product. You don't have to worry about, any stolen assets. You don't have to worry about damaged in transit. Like, you can just sell it and have it go wild. And since you're a solo developer, your costs are going to be dramatically lower than somebody who's running a big studio, and like, absolutely. This seems completely correct to me. And like, the idea that you'd sell it for less than $20 is fantastic. I think you're going to get a lot more sales for that. Are you also looking at regional pricing for all of that as well? We've got a lot of people in here from Brazil, for instance.
Totally, 100%. Yeah. All of those.
Because we talked about that kind of earlier.
Yeah, exactly the same. I'll make sure that that's all solid for every region.
Great.
And there will be it's a relatively low price in the space, especially compared to like AAA these days, which has gone insane. But there will be a couple of other ways that you can support me as well, and other people who've worked on the game. There'll be like a supporters pack as well. You might have seen in the menu, which you'll get like some no gameplay. I was very, very from the start. I hate microtransactions, and I hate like battle passes and all that exploitative stuff. I hate it. So I really went into this being like, I want a fair price 1.0 polished product with nothing else. But one thing that I have seen is that people do sometimes want to support more than just the base price of the game. So there's going to be a soundtrack, separate product that you can buy, or like a deluxe edition with the soundtrack, which also 50% of the profits of that will go directly to the composer, by the way. So
that's fantastic. That's great.
That's
yeah,
something
hell
that
yeah.
I wanted to do too. And then there'll be a supporters pack as well, which will give like a couple of cosmetic things. There's a little bit further into the game, you can get a little facility that lets you change and customize your suit and Roland's drone chassis. So you can like mix and match all different colors of suit and the accents on it and the lights and the visor and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be like a couple of like extra special supporters skins basically for that, which have no kind of gameplay benefit or anything, but just make you look awesome basically. Yeah, so I'm hoping that those couple of things people will support as well and just kind of allow me to keep doing this because I just absolutely love it.
That's fantastic, dude. Like I think that is awesome. And that's yeah, there's a lot of people resonating. Yeah, dev is base, W dev. Yeah, no, people are quite happy about that. Like it's great too because you're right. It is tough for a lot of people right now. Like the cost of games is way too high. And it's funny because I talked about this maybe 2 years ago and I was like, we're seeing the indie renaissance start. And I started seeing it with things like countries started to be pushing more and more indie developer grants, on studios. Be like, hey, the government will give you money to go make a game. Like Brazil started doing tax cuts for indie devs. Like Germany started giving more grants for indie devs. And I was like, okay, we're going to start seeing a huge push for this because it's going to, and the tooling becoming so much more accessible now. You can just go make a game and you can release it on Steam and it's worldwide. Like that's...
It's a democratization of game dev. It's amazing to watch. It really is. And it makes total sense from we're talking about these grants and incentives from governments and stuff. It makes total economic sense as well because in these, I'm in the UK and it's all about growth and everything at the expense, it's growth at the expense of everything else. But if you have these kinds of mechanisms and incentives, you will grow the economy. In the UK, games is bigger than film and TV combined. And in fact, worldwide, but particularly in the UK, like it's bigger than our biggest kind of hot button issues are like fishing and steel manufacturing, and games is way bigger than both of those industries combined, and yet nobody's talking about games. Nobody's talking about all these awesome UK-based indie games, game devs and devs across the world who are, kind of single-handedly sustaining economies and employing people. That's my dream, would be to have this be successful, and then I can, actually hire other people to also work on future games full time. So, it seems like such a no-brainer from so many perspectives.
Yeah, no, you're completely right, and I'm so happy to see it. The indie renaissance is already, it's well in full effect, and you're seeing that now too, where AAA is trying to push the $70 game as a base, and then $110 for the real version, right? And that's just out of range. It's out of range for the grand majority of people. And if you look at that, you're like, I could get 11 indie games for that, like really good indie games that are $10 for the price of that one AAA, and it's like. Like, that's insane to me, And there's a ton of really good indie games, even in the $5 range, that are wild and, like, fantastic. Like, I don't know, go look at a whole bunch of stuff from Devolver, for instance. Things like Loop Hero are just amazing. They're super fun. You get hundreds of hours out of those games. And they're not going to break your bank. And the moment you see that, you're like, of course indies are winning. Like, of course that's going to take over, dude. Because, like, people don't have enough money to pay for the AAA experience because it's too expensive, and they're getting way more experiences for the same amount of money. It's an entertainment industry,
and AAA is just stale. There's no new experiences coming. Because
it's dangerous.
Some people love buying the new Call of Duty every year, right? Which is just really the same as last year with a slightly different skin. Like it's
FIFA.
Crazy. And FIFA is another example. Like there's so many of these franchises that people will just buy every year, but there's no real new experiences happening. And the indie space is just incredible because it's creating these games that really make you actually think and provide you with a new life experience and make you think a little bit. It's really amazing.
And it's also cool because every single time you play an indie game, you're going to find things that you think work and things that you think don't work. Totally. And it's going to be a different experience. It's not that homogenized, everything is safe that you get in AAA a lot of the times. I find that a lot of AAA games, they will take the safe option rather than the, let's try something that no one's done before. It's like, they 100%. Did it. Let's do what they did, but a little bit slightly different.
Exactly.
Not too different.
Tiny iteration.
Because the investors would be upset. So like that's, it always feels that way. And it's why I like indie games more, most generally. Yeah. There are a few AAA games that I really enjoy, and it's mostly because they did something I was like, wow, no one's done that. That's amazing. And you did it on a massive budget, so you can really fully explore this new thing.
Yeah, that's when AAA really shines. But I think we see that so
it's rare,
infrequently now. It's really rare. So fair play to those AAA studios that can keep doing that, because there seems like less and less of them every day.
Yeah, keep convincing your overlords to let you try weird things. You'll make better games.
But all must bow to the shareholders at the end of the day in AAA. Yeah. So,
but I mean I think that's the biggest difference between AAA and indie is the ability to take risk, and risk propagates really interesting design, and that's what you have here. This is fantastic.
And this is the bizarre thing, though, right? This is the really weird aspect, because indies are the least well placed to take risk.
I know.
Compared to AAA.
So it's awful.
The indies who are taking all the risk, and then if they fail because they have decided to take that risk, they have no safety net, and that's it.
Unrecoverable.
Right? Whereas these AAAs who could just experiment, and I had this at Splash Damage personal experience. We were working. Yeah. I was working in a really tiny incubation team with the team from that created Gears Tactics, which is an awesome game, and we were working on a kind of spiritual successor to that. And we had this really, really awesome project. And then they canned it in favor of, firstly, the Transformers game, which then got cancelled anyway, and another game which is still in development hell at that studio, which has also just laid off hundreds of my old colleagues. So it's just a tale as old as time. It's very frustrating.
I've seen the same thing, and I think incubation teams are probably the closest that AAA gets to the true indie experience, because you have a very tiny group of people, like 5 to 6 people, enough for a D&D game, right? And they're like, here's your budget. Go make something weird. Come back to us in like 6 months.
And it really doesn't take a lot of people and a lot of money. Like this game I've made almost entirely on my own over the course of 3 years, and it's been taking a while. But if you have a AAA studio and you put 5 people, 10 people out of your hundreds of staff onto an incubation project, and you let them run wild and create something really interesting, if you let 5 teams in your company do that, you're going to have a hit. You're going to have something really special at the end of it. And if the teams that don't succeed in that, you haven't really lost out that much, because they've spent 10 times less than your big team working on the big game. So it really is. And this is a big thing of why I ended up going indie, because it just seems like the people in charge at these companies don't know what they're doing, honestly. And I was thinking to myself, like, I can do better than that,
And now you are.
I'm hopeful. Thank you. I really appreciate that, because I sometimes I'm not sure, right? We all have that feeling, but I think it's all right, and I've got something.
You'll never know that you made something cool until your players tell you, and then you won't believe them.
Yeah. Too real. Yeah.
That's just how that goes, man.
Too real.
No secret behind the blood waterfall. Fake dev.
Well, if you run around long enough inside the waterfall, you'll see your suit gets clean and is now shiny again.
Oh.
So your suit gets dirty over time in the sand and exploring the caves, and dulls down, gets dirty, and then when you go in water or in the waterfall, it will clean off. And you can buy some facilities to clean up your suit as well.
I would never. I would just let it go. I want to be grungy. I want dirt caked on me like a golem.
Yeah. That is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. So we are at time, but I wanted to know, do you have any advice that you would give to a starting indie, somebody who's just maybe they're interested in trying? Anything that you would say to them?
I would say go for it. Do it. Like if you're in the right point in your life, which is very important, and I was lucky enough to be able to support myself and do that, and have a wife who was very supportive and be able to take that risk. But if you have the opportunity, do it, because you will. If you don't, you'll regret it at some point, and you'll just wonder what could have happened. Like, I could have had something special. And even if your game isn't commercially successful, you'll have had the wonderful experience of creating something truly personal and from your own heart. And that is an indescribable feeling, to be perfectly honest. So I say go for it.
That's fantastic. And I completely agree with you. I think it's one of those things is, if you are basing your success only off the financial success of the game, you are missing the joy of the creation process.
I think so. And it's obviously very valid to have that as a goal, because we all want to be able to do what we love and live a nice, comfortable life from it. But I think players can tell when you build something from the heart. Yeah. And if you build it from the heart, I think it will resonate with people. And it's rare that you can build something from the heart when you are solely motivated by money.
Yeah, it is. And I think the other thing too is it is okay if your game fails. It's not a reflection on you permanently. It's a reflection of your
100%.
design idea that time. And there's always more times, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, with that being said, I hope that your game reaches financial success because this is very deep and interesting, and you have a lot of very cool systems here. And it feels overall incredibly polished. So I think you've done a great job, dude.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. And thank you again for featuring it and all these other awesome games. So keep it up.
No, you rock. Well, is there anything else you want to say before we head out?
I don't think so. Thanks, everybody. Cool. Thanks for your interest. And yeah, keep an eye out. Q1 next year, AETHUS will be out.
And I will link this all to you guys. AETHUS right here. Let me grab this. And there's the game. So go wishlist it. Do it. Helps the dev. Helps the dev. It's free. It's free.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, less than $20 is wild, dude. So I feel like you're going to do quite well with that price point. And let us know when you launch. Hit me back up. We do have all this section in the Discord for you to go and talk in there to like any other devs, or just let me know when you do your launch. You know, I think it'll be awesome.
You'll get a key in your mailbox for the full version for sure.
Nope, I'm going to buy it. Don't you dare.
Oh, that's kind. Thank you.
Burn the key you gave me already and let me buy the game.
Very kind.
Yeah. You have a good one, dude.
Thanks, dude. See you later.
See you around.